Está silenciada, Gaby.
Sorry, I'll start again. Welcome to this talk organized by Asociación de Profesores de Inglés de Bahía Blanca and Instituto Superior Juan XXIII English Department. Today, we welcome Griselda Beacon. I know that most of you already know her, either because you have attended her courses or because, you're students that probably might listen to her for the first time today. But either if you know her or you'll know her today, I'm sure you'll long for the next talk by Griselda. This is what you feel once you listen to her. Now comes the point when I start showing off, saying that Griselda was a student here at Instituto Superior Juan XXIII. I was lucky to be her classmate, and I'm luckier to be her friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. So, Gris, we are really honored by your presence because this year our institute, our institute is celebrating the 60th anniversary. So it's real an honor to have you here today. And besides, you accepted this invitation at once. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Analia.
Okay, hello everybody. Good morning. Let me introduce you to Griselda Beacon. Griselda Beacon is a teacher educator and specializes in literature. She delivers teacher training workshops and conferences on literature and foreign language teaching in diverse international contexts. She loves doing story readings at schools and libraries. Griselda holds an MA in literature and foreign language teaching from Philipps Universität Marburg, Germany. She is an IEL, Norwich Institute for Language Education, trainer in the UK. Her special interests include teaching literature in tandem with visual and performative arts, young learners, creativity, intercultural and global citizenship education. She lives in Buenos Aires, where she lectures American literature at Universidad de Buenos Aires and teaches 20th century literature in English, children and young adults literature, creativity, drama techniques in the English class, and play, music, dance, and the literary tradition for kindergarten at 4 renowned teacher training colleges in the field of ELT. I totally agree with Gabriela's words. We are honored to have you here, so thank you very much, and you are welcome. Please remember to mute yourselves.
Hello. Thank you very much for the nice words. My heart is there with you. My school is Juan XXIII. That's where I started this long career, which has given me so much pleasure. I work hard. We all work hard. We are working harder right now, but it is so rewarding at the end of the day that I am amazingly happy by saying that I am a teacher of English. And everything started there in Bahía Blanca. And my first experiences in everything I do started both at Juan XXIII and with APIB. So for me, it is always a pleasure and it's always a big yes when you invite me to do anything with you. So thank you, Gabi, and I know that some of our classmates are there as well.
And teachers, Gris, and teachers. Have you seen Shasi? You have already seen
Shasi here. Yes, she was our teacher in first year. Oh, amazing, amazing. Life is crazy sometimes, and we have these nice moments. So having said that, I think I am ready to start with the presentation. I think I'm going to share this with you for more or less an hour, and then we will have some time for talking, I don't know, questions, doubts, anything you need. However, while the presentation is going on, if you have any question or anything, please just write on the chat, and so we can interrupt the presentation and talk about it for a while. Or maybe I ask you to participate in some way, so you can also work on the chat, right? So write on the chat. So I am ready. I hope you're ready too. I'm going to start sharing. Let's see. Well, so if you can see everything is fine, we're going to start. Look at the title of the presentation. It says, let's use poetry in our English classes. I think that we all love poetry, right? But we find it sometimes difficult to use poetry in the classroom. Perhaps in kindergarten we use some rhymes, but then we tend to work with stories. And we leave poetry on the side. So I hope that the presentation today brings poetry back to your classes. Let's see, it's going to be very, I'm going to show you what I do with poetry in the classroom, and I will show you examples, especially now on Zoom. I've got lots of examples on Zoom as well. So you see that nothing stops us, or at least nothing stops me. Now, have a look at this. It says, this is just to say I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. Now, you look at this, and what do you think it is? So maybe we can start thinking about possibilities on the chat. What do you think this is? Where would you find this? Let's see if somebody in the big group we cannot see on the screen says something, yeah, on the chat. Maybe somebody writes something.
Here, Gris.
Sorry?
I imagine this is something that someone left on the fridge. A message. So,
yes, right.
The child, the mom.
Yes, yes. It could be like a note on the fridge,
right,
or a note on the kitchen table, right? Right. Yes, and it's about the plants, right? It's about the fruit you ate. Oh my! So let's see. Now I'm going to show you something. Just look. What happens if this becomes this? And just wait a minute. I'm going to read it. It says, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. All of here people say a note on the fridge door. Yes, we all agree on that. But if we see it like this, it is immediately something else. It's no longer the fridge, right? It's no longer the note on the fridge. It becomes a poem. And we treat it with respect, right? Oh, it has 3 stanzas. Wonderful. Oh, there is a use of repetition. So sweet and so cold. Oh, look, it begins with, I have eaten the plums. And we make the pauses when we read. And all of a sudden we think, what an amazing poem that deals about everyday life, ordinary mornings at home. And so we start, discussing about it. Something we didn't do when we were working with the note on the fridge. So look how easy it is to turn just a simple note on the fridge into an amazing poem. Every student can do that, and you feel so proud of yourself when you write a poem. you feel like you became a poem. So thank you, William Carlos Williams, for this amazing poem and this possibility of transforming this poem into something else. And this is something we can bring into the classroom straight away, which is my aim. Now, let me tell you, I need to move on here. Let me tell you what objectives I have for today's class. I would like that I could somehow ignite this passion for poetry, so we can use poetry in our classes. When I say poetry, I mean any literary text, but well, today's poetry. And the reason is basically because I strongly believe that we do not give literature enough room, and literature connects with our own aesthetic awareness. And so it's a pleasure for the person in many different ways. And so we are learning the language while we are having some sort of aesthetic experience, which allows for creative writing. And this is the link with our English classes, right? Now it says, look, I would like to show you how social expressivist pedagogists contribute to fostering self-expression, language appropriation, and personal and emotional involvement. Particularly language appropriation, because it is connected with self-expression. If we can talk about ourselves, then the words we use are words that become ours. And also I would like to show examples of creative writing. And if we can, on Meet, let's see if we can create together. I don't know about that yet, but I hope we can. Now, the big question is, what is poetry? And here it's interesting what happens, because people want to come with a definition that is like the definition. And actually, poetry is defining poetry becomes a very subjective thing. It means different things for different people. And so I decided to choose first, look at what the Norton Anthology of Poetry says, the academia, right? A poem is a composition written for performance by the human voice. Well, it says lots of things about poetry. Yes, written for performance. I like the performative part, that we show, we use our bodies as well. By the human voice. So it is meant to be read aloud or recited aloud. All of that I agree with. But then you will see that we're going to contradict a little bit, not contradict, but offer other possibilities to add to this definition of poetry. There's much more than this. That's the point. Poetry is the spontaneous overflow, I like the words, of powerful feelings. I am in love with this. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. This is said by a poet we have all read at the Professorado, William Wordsworth, the famous daffodils dancing in the wind. Remember? The romantic poets. Oh, how lovely, spontaneous, overflow. I like the overflow, no? The exaggeration, powerful feelings. Okay. Take them, recollected in tranquility. So we're supposed to be quiet when we write poetry. Let's see, this is Wordsworth talking. Let's see what other poets say. I am in love with this. If I feel physically as if the top of my head were taken off, I know that is poetry. I love this. I love this feeling that it blows my mind, right? When oh my, then that is poetry. Well, that is, of course, Emily Dickinson, a woman who was secluded, a woman who saw nobody, who was inside the rooms of her house. And she thinks, she believes that when she feels physically that the top of her head were taken off, then she is in the realm of poetry. I love this phrase. I love what Emily Dickinson says when she says this about poetry. And finally, it's T.S. Eliot, which is less passionate than Emily, and he says poetry is not a turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personal, but an escape from personality. I don't understand very well what he means, but that's not the point. The point is they all deal with emotion. They all deal with personal emotion, personal involvement, and they find different ways to express this. Some of them say, it blows my mind. The other one says, it's emotion recollected in tranquility. The other one says, it's not turning loose of emotion. It is an escape from emotion. And all of that, and the Norton Anthology, right? A composition written for performance by a human voice. See how different the definitions are if they come from a poet as if they come from an academic. No? And then this one, which I find it funny, it's Wendy Cope, a contemporary poet, and she's going to make a point when Wordsworth says, takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. And she says, I love her for that. People are always quoting that, and all of them seem to agree. And it's probably most unwise to admit that it's different for me. I have emotion. No one who knows me could fail to detect it. But there is a serious shortage of tranquility in which to recollect it. I find myself there. There is a serious shortage of tranquility in which to recollect it. So this is my contribution to the theoretical debate. Sometimes poetry is emotion recollected in a highly emotional state. My purpose here is that we need to find our own way to define poetry. That is our own way to express what poetry is for us, right? And to show you that maybe you find related to some of these, but you may find your own, right? Because there is not one way. It is something that we define poetry, or we talk about poetry according to how we feel about it. Now, I said in my goals that I was going to talk about social expressivist pedagogy, and I will tell you why. Because it makes room for students to learn to express their voice, which is for me so important. We carry out lots of tasks. We prepare lots of activities for students to use the language they are learning, to become conscious about that language, to use the same expressions again and again. And with poetry, what we bring to contribute and to complement that work is that those expressions they are learning can become the ones they need to express their voice. So by so doing, they are able to share their unique worldviews. Yes, and that is a contribution to the kind of work we already do in the classroom. I must say as well that I've been an advocate for literature in the classroom for the last, 20 years. So I know that lots of you are doing that, because I receive lots of mails in which you tell me what you do, messages on Instagram. So I know that you're working on this. So for many of you, this is a moment in which you expand on what you already know. Now, ensure, and this is for me very, very important, that there is a social context to interact with. What I mean is an audience. When they write poetry that they can share, right? That they can share with classmates, with teachers, with the community, right? So they in the sharing, it's when their voice becomes more powerful. What I'm saying basically in pedagogical terms is that we need to create communities of learning. So I decided to start with this poem. Look, this is an interesting poem. And I'm going to read it. Let's see what context you imagine for this poem. Hello. We could read it in different ways, right? We could read it vertically, horizontally. I mean, it's a very strange sort of arrangement for the poem, right? Hello, who's there? This is me. This is me. Who is that? Hello? Hello? Who is that? This is me. Who is that? This is me here. This is me. Who is that? Hello? Who is that? This is me. I'm there. Here I am. Who is that? Hello? Hello? Who's there? I'm there. Hello? I'm here. I am there. Who? Hello? Hello? Who is there? I'm here. Here. I am there. Who? Hello? Hello? Who is there? I am there. So I'm going to stop. Wait a minute. Oh, no. That's the second point. It's moving forward. So I'm going to interrupt here for a minute so as to share with you the what ideas you had about this poem, what you imagined, the context.
For me,
yes,
for me, it's like different cultures that can communicate. Yes, like not a telephone conversation or not somebody that goes to somebody's home, but it is a lack of communication between cultures, between different cultures.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jassy.
And one of them saying, well, I'm here, I exist, I am. Perhaps other parts of the world don't care or don't know.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Jassy. You suggested two different things. On the one hand, you suggested this idea of two cultures struggling to communicate, yes, through, because they probably have different languages. So they're trying to communicate, struggling to communicate. And the other one, which is connected, but another point is a question of self-worth. I am here. I exist. I am. Right? Yes. An effort to establish connection. Yes. Yes, that's communication. Right. Agustina Negrete is saying that. Thank you. Yes. Regardless of distance, right? You know that I feel like that they are so separated, these two, these voices so far. I'm here, they are, like that. Well, students said the most interesting things because everything depends on the context you're in. For example, they said, you know what it is? I live in a flat and I have the feeling I go out I go to the balcony and I try to talk to people from other windows, from other balconies. Hello, like, communicating. Then I thought it was a kind of code, Morse code, or or radio amateur talking. This is who I am. Someone's calling his attention, trying to get meaning, ideas across. Right. So look at whatever you can do with a poem that has only 4 or 5 words and words that everybody knows. Then the way we worked with it in my drama techniques, for example, I asked students to read it, to perform it. And I didn't say how, it's their work. And it was wonderful. They used 2 voices. One was for the here, so some columns was said by one, and the other columns by the other, and the other one this one was saying here, and the other there. So it was very, and it's very strong when students perform it because they create the context. So they believe the context they are creating. It's not the context we provide, no? Exactly. Agostina is my student. I love her. Me and my students on Zoom. My students right now, I only know Agostina on Zoom. I have never seen Agostina face to face. And we created a learning community on Zoom. This is my learning experience during the pandemic, right? So now, great, we see what it is. And now I'm going to show you, wait a minute, how do I do this? I go here, yes, and I go here, wait. Now, I don't know, I'm a bit lost, I'm sorry. Wait, no, this is not. Well, but anyway, I can show it from here. This is another poem which we worked with together with the other, which is called, wait a minute, Vanessa, who is, Vanessa, your message is gone. Well, then I will read it. Now, this is another poem by the same writer. This poet is from Malaysia. So imagine how far away this is, right? And he is a contemporary poet. And he came up with this amazing poem he calls The Wall. Now, I showed this poem to the students, and it is fantastic whatever they said about it, right? That the words written as if it was written by someone, no, handwritten, I cannot escape, and then the walls and what those walls meant. And of course, it was my opportunity to ask them how they felt about the whole situation we are living right now. And wait a minute, I'm trying to see. What I would like to do is, I'm trying to see if I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Here I can. I want to make it. I want to make it big. Right, that's what I wanted. I wanted to make the whole presentation big, so you could see better. Now, when I showed them this, it was my opportunity for them to express how they felt right now. I've been working with this poem for many, many years. And this year, it was amazingly significant for the quarantine, right? And so this is what my students came up with. I have many more because I used it in several of my classes. And I found it very powerful how they expressed themselves, what they said in these poems, right? Now, the one in the middle, no, it has, in 2020, there was social distance. In 2020, we wore face masks. No, in 2020, there was a lockdown. Now, look at the other one. She, this student, Silvana, she drew her flat. The map of her flat, the floor plan, that's what it was, the floor plan. And inside, she wrote, well, stay home, stay safe, etc. But then she wrote this sentence, like, I cannot escape, know your privilege. And I said, how powerful, no? Because if you know your privilege, then immediately you are in a position of developing empathy, right? Knowing your privilege puts you in a position of saying, okay, what can I do, no, to help somebody else? And I found it very powerful. Now look at the other one. My students live in flats in Buenos Aires, right? And they are all very much very constrained. So that is a kind of street, no, or the skyline of a city. And inside, security, home, sweet home, household, shelter, etc. They found words to express their feelings. And the other one, this one is fantastic because it has like a twist. It's very simple, no? Stay home, stay home, stay home. But then in the middle, it says, I'm fine. But if we turn the heart upside down, it says, help me. So it's a message, it's an encoded message. The thing is, and here is where I find I said the community of learning and the audience, because as soon as students start sharing their production, other students get motivated, it gets contagious. And I say that, get inspired but by what your classmates do, and do not try to imitate them, do what you can. Everything is accepted, right? The ones who are experts in, I don't know, things with the computer, fantastic. The ones who like to draw. The ones who are not very good at this or that, try to do what you can. A picture, something, right? And they get inspired and they show this. Now, this is for adolescents, right? Or yeah, or preteens. Now, and this has these kinds of poems I'm showing, they would contradict a little bit the Northern anthology because they are shape poems. They need the visual, right? And this, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, here. These are poems which are also shape poems for younger children. I just cannot tell you how often I use this poem and the CT and what children can do with it. They perform it, we perform it, and we become octopuses, and they do the octopus in so many different ways in groups. We play it in many different ways, but it's an amazing poem, which is Oliver the octopus underneath the sea. And they go like this, swimming very, very slowly, looking for his tea. Makes a little bubble, plop, 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 gives a little grin. Hi there, fishes! Come on in. And I know I have students here right now who are with me and using lots of form. Look at this one. This is lovely. This is a lovely cat. Now look at all the vocabulary we use to describe cats. All of a sudden we put it all together to create this lovely concrete cat. Now this concrete cat has a kind of I don't know, a joke in it. There is something that is what do you see that I say it's a joke, or it's something something unexpected, or something that makes us laugh? What can you see there? What did the cat have for lunch? Oh, you cannot see. Yes, I think.
Mouse.
There is a mouse.
The mouse. The cat has been playing with a mouse. So that's a joke, right? Now, I like to combine and show you that these are techniques, basically, that we can use with any student, no matter how old they are. We need to adapt the technique to the age of the students. Now, with adolescents, that is with my teachers, student teachers who are working with adolescents, we read a story about cats, and we read the Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe, which is a classic. We chose that because it's generally a story that they read in Spanish, so they know the story. So when they come to the English class with the story already known, the language is easier to absorb. So I said, you can do the same with adolescents, but you just give them another task. And so look at what students are doing now with the Black Cat. Now they are writing poems, like shape poems. Now the task is that they use words that are in the story. So they need to go back to the story 1,000 times to be able to do this. And I chose 3 just to show you how they do it. In the case of the one in which the cat is in the middle with lots of words inside and it's all black around, in that one, the student chose keywords, right? And only that. Which is fantastic. For my purpose, it's great because it's like giving them a task to go back and read the story again. Now, the one by Micaela, she chose a found poem. So she chose a page of the story and then she created the poem. I cut its eyes, the damnable soul remained untouched. The lost spirit takes no account, I am sure, and draws the cat all around. The other one, Emma, wrote all around and left a blank space for the cat. And Josefina chose to decide on topics very complex topics that we could work with this story. And she said, femicide, Griselda. He kills his wife by mistake. Alcoholism, he blames alcoholism for his behavior. Animal rights, right? Because what he's doing with the cats. Death penalty, no? So look at all the topics that she finds they could become moments of debate in the classroom. As I always say, do what you feel you can as a teacher, right? If you think you cannot do this for any reason, there are many other things you can do. But these are examples for you. Now, the first thing I showed you is shape poems. Poems that are visual as well as that you need to look at and also to listen to have this to be able to deal with the poem, to embrace the poem, right? There are other genres in poetry we could use at school that I find very flexible. The poems that we can include what we are learning in that kind of genre. Now, the other one that is always very handy is the list poem. Why? Because the list poem is just a list. So you do not have to worry about words to connect and make sentences, make sense. Here you just list, and you can list words, and you can list anything, and you will see now because I have several to show you. Now, in this case, I have a poem for children, for primary, and the title of the poem is 10 Things Found in a Shipwrecked Sailor's Pocket. 10 things found in a shipwrecked sailor's pocket. For that, I would like to ask you if you can write on the chat what you think are things that we can find on in a sailor's pocket, shipwrecked pocket. Yes, the ship is, has collapsed. Let's see what you imagine this sailor has in his pockets. A photograph, a compass, a rusty compass, says Vanessa. Here I will use these two, Agostina, compass, and then a rusty compass that Vanessa says, because sometimes children say one word and they will say, let's add. No, so we use the first and we go like step by step, building their language. A map, yes, Andrea, a map. Seaweed, of course, yes. Now, the photograph is great because we could ask, what photograph? From whom? Wet cookies, oh yes. Now, the photograph is fantastic to start imagining, no? What kind of picture? From whom? From, some keys, right. Now, you write them all. A bottle of whiskey, of course, Cynthia. You cannot be a sailor without a flask of whiskey, right? Yes, true, yes. A jackknife, of course, yes. So, rusty key rings, great. So you write them all on the board or somewhere to keep them, and then you can use it after the poem, so you can expand the poem with what the children say, and you can interrupt the poem because it's a list poem. The order, that doesn't matter. Because in a list poem, everything is on the same level. So it's the same whether the keys come first and the picture comes next, second. So you can simply intervene the poem, I'm going to show you, and put all of these things in. Now, let me show you the poem now. Now that you have worked with it a little bit, I need to go to the presentation, which is here. And I need to come here and wait a minute. No, wait a second. It takes, I am a little bit here. Okay, I am a little bit physical for this. Wait a minute. Oh, how can I do this? It doesn't work. Well, I'm sorry, but I will not be able to make it big. I hope you don't mind. Now, look at the poem about the 10 things found in the shipwrecked sailor's pocket. A liter of sea, an unhappy jellyfish, a small piece of a lifeboat, a pencil wrapped around with seaweed, a soaking feather, the first page of a book called Swimming is Easy, a folded chart showing dangerous rocks, a photograph of a little girl in a red dress, a gold coin, a letter from a mermaid. Now, with this poem, we have worked in many different ways. We have written post-its that the mermaid left. See you at the bottom, or things of the sort. We have written the letter that the mermaid wrote. We have written the dedication in the picture and thinking about this girl in a red dress. We have changed the photograph. We have included the compass, which was not here. We have seen what they have said and what is actually in the poem. And so we said, yes, look, seaweed, yes, wonderful. How happy students are when what they say is in the poem, right? And we have expanded the poem. And then we created other poems. 10 things found in the teacher's pocket, right? Like lollipops and puppets and finger puppets and a handkerchief and chalk and a marker and I don't know how many things. So this is a great prompt to work with poetry and then to create something with the students. Now look at the next one. Oh, sorry, this is wrong. Here. Can you see I am hungry? Gabby, can you tell me if you can see I am hungry?
Yes, Gris. We can see.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, here, I Am Hungry is a lovely poem by Michael Rosen. Now, look at this. The picture is lovely of a big bear, and obviously, if it is a big bear, it's a hungry bear. How many times have we worked with food in the classroom? And we somehow are lost of ideas at some point because we have already played a restaurant, we have already played marketplace, we have already done this, we have already done that. Well, look at this one. It's a list poem. And it says, I am hungry, really hungry, hungry, I'm so hungry. I'll eat a cheese roll, cornflakes in a bowl, a plate of fried rice, 2 chocolate mice, a slice of toast, a sandy roasted vanilla ice cream, a very bad dream, a gingerbread man, a frying pan, a piece of cake, a headache, a giant prawn, a bit of a moon, some fried chip, a birthday wish, a real live mouse the size of a house, an egg yolk, a funny joke, the egg white, a dark and stormy night, a plastic tray, one fine day, a television show, the sound of no, a game of change, the sound of yes, 1 p, then I'll eat me. Now, that's the poem. And one of the things I would do with this poem is tell the kids, this is a very British bear. And then they would say, but why? Because of what the bear eats. And what does the bear eat? Oh, there's lots of English things there, English traditions. And here is when the culture of somebody else becomes relevant in the classroom, right? Because there's the Sunday roast, which is a typical dish for Sunday that British people tend to have, or there's fried fish, no, fish and chips. It's another classic food that or a dish, that a cheese roll, no, or cornflakes in a bowl. Porridge would be an ideal word here, no, an egg yolk, no, and so you can introduce traditions from other cultures into the classroom. And then we don't have bears in Argentina, but we may have pumas, or we may have, I don't know, some, I'm thinking about the armadillo in Spanish, in our armadillo, I cannot think of the name in Spanish right now. My mind is, sorry?
Isn't it
El peludo, el peludo. We can have a peludo, or we can have, and so what would they eat if they were here? And so of course we would write asado, mate, we would think of milanesa and milanesa caballo. We would have our dishes right here, or I don't know, something that the children eat at home. At home, it was, my mom used to have this pudding with vanilla and vanilla, real vanillas, and then vanilla pudding. Then you can, bring the kids' own traditions, and you can write together a very simple list poem with them, right? And this is a very nice activity. This can be done with the whole class, not in small groups, in which they use what they are learning and they are bringing it into the English class, and they are learning about other cultures and then about theirs. And also this area of, this can be so, but it doesn't mean that everybody does. Yes, because we are asado fans, but not everybody likes asado, right? So also making room for diversity in our own traditions. Now, I would like to ask you to imagine, because the poem that comes afterwards requires your imagination. If you had, you won't need it, but I would like you to close your eyes. So I will read you the poem, and you will have to, well, no, before I read you the poem, I'm going to tell you what you have to imagine. It's you. It's you. You are in the countryside, alone. It's a lovely day, so you have to imagine the color of the sky. The grass is beautiful, so you have to imagine the color of the grass. There's a small stream of water. It's a perfect place, right? There's a small stream of water. Now imagine that water. What colors would you paint that stream? Now there's a nice, lovely, tiny little house, probably your house. What color would you paint the walls of your house? What color would you paint the door of your house? What color would you paint the roof of your house? It's a lovely scenery. I mean, it's a prairie, but there are some nice hilly areas at the background. What color are those hills? Well, have you managed to visualize that amazing place you're in? Great. Now, Andrea Martinez, before we move on, she says that in the kind of list about our food, she would include milanesa, chocotorta, no? Yes, empanadas, of course. Yes. Yes, okay. Now we go back to our poem, to our visualization about that beautiful place. Now, who would like to say what color you painted your sky? Or, for that matter, the grass or the house, the door of the house. What color you would have painted it?
Well, if nobody wants to talk,
Yeah.
I will.
Thank you, Gabi.
All right. The blue sky, of course, because you, I mean, depicted it a wonderful day. So blue sky, shiny green grass. I also imagined some sunflowers. And then, well, the brook or the river. I imagine it as white with green, yes, a little bit of green, of different shades of green, right? And then a small house with white walls and brown doors and windows, like a bungalow.
Great, thank you, Gabi. Thank you very much for that. They are writing a red door, lots of people see a red door. That's lovely. Yes, I love red doors. Yeah, exactly. Blue, bright sky. Look at that, Vanessa. Blue, bright, beautiful, alliteration. This is so poetic, you see. You start putting you start using poetic devices. I feel the wear and the smell of the trees, a small house with a green door, white stream of water. Now you ask the kids to draw, to color it, because then you show them this poem, and that's the fun thing. Take a brush. The sky is green, the grass is blue, you are purple, the house is silver, the sun is black, the river is gold, the world has changed. Did you do that? Now, what happens when we do this? We show kids that there are different perspectives, right? That somebody can see the door red or green or anything, or that there are some cultural and you don't really say that, it happens, right? You don't need to go into that, but they become aware that when you imagine that we have different worldviews, and that they come through our production, and in the comparing, look, there are so many different doors, and look at the poem. What does the poem say? What is the color of the? Have you ever seen a black sun? Is it possible? Of course not. Well, that's our imagination, and so you can have a lot of linguistic input and a long conversation with the kids, playing with these things. Right? And you're using the vocabulary you are learning with something they are producing. So, wait a second, I will continue here. I have now an amazing poem. This poem is very difficult. It's also a list poem. And it's for, wait a minute, I'm going to see if I can use it now as a big thing. Yes, it's working. Now, this poem about his person is also a list, ideal to work with older students. Now, look, it says £5.50 in change, exactly, a library card on its date of expiry, a postcard stamped, unwritten but franked, a pocket-sized diary slashed with a pencil from March 24th to the 1st of April, a brace of keys for a mortgage lock, an analog watch, self-winding stop, the final demand in his own hand, a rolled-up note of explanation planted there like a spray carnation, but beheaded in his fist, a shopping list, a giveaway photograph stashed in his wallet, a keepsake banked in the heart of a locket, no gold or silver, but crowning one finger, a ring of white, unweathered skin. That was everything. Well, when I give this poem to the students, it's always a bit of confusion I put them to work in groups and decide what this could be. And they need to check on vocabulary, they don't know some words, etc. That's a lot of literary work that I do as well. But basically, is trying to find out what is going on here until they say, of course, it's CSI Miami, it's CSI New York, it's a body. They found a dead body on the street or something like that. And then they created, no, the body is no longer there. It's all the objects surrounding the body. And so they start playing with this, right? So what I say is, one of the tasks I give them in class is to create the scene. In class, it's wonderful because they work in groups and they go all around. But now I had to do it on, and for example, one day, one class, one of the students was dead on the teacher's desk. And that was great, like that. And all the objects falling all around. It was really good. I should have found a picture for that. But I chose to show you pictures that my students took when they were in lockdown with this poem. And they are of all sorts, from very romantic to very explicit. And I would like to show you some of them. Now look at this one. Now look at this one. This is very romantic, no? That's the rolled up note of explanation, right? Probably saying that the person committed suicide. We don't know. And then there's a rose, because the poem suggests that probably there is someone he loved that abandoned the man, because it's a man, it's a his person, no? Well, there's a police officer, because the whole discourse is very detached, like objective, no? There are coins, there's a postcard, there's a wallet, no? That's very like if it was a box full of all these things. So this, and then first is the rose with the petals, and then it's the rolled up note with the hand, and then it's the hand is gone, and then so it's this is I really like it. And now look at this one. This is what students have done. They have put themselves there and they have covered their faces with something, and they have created all the white lines. Look at, this is Agos there with her mom's. Agos is there in the now with us. So hello, Agos, there you are again. Now with her mom's shopping bag, right? Shopping carry-on. And then the other one in the middle is great. Look at that. It's not a person, it's the clothes of a person. And it's really spooky. Well, and so they showed this and they had fun creating it. And some of them put people of the family as well as part of the scenery. And parents had to work. And then they said, are you going to do something with me again this week? And they find it funny because it's student teachers working with their own families, and bringing the class into the homes. And I like that. Now, I would like to show you now, I think I need to mute myself, so I need to stop sharing. Oh, I don't know what I did. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, sorry. I need to do something. I need to stop sharing. I'm going to show you now. Wait a minute, just give me a second. Yes, I have to mute myself because I'm going to show you a video. This was not in lockdown. That was before. I gave the task that they could do something different with it. Yes. So some students prepare the box that when you go to the police quarters and you say closed case. Yes, so there are boxes, and then you take the box and it's all the information is in there. So they created those boxes. They did different things. And these students created this. I'm going to show you. So first I'm going to mute myself so you can see the video. You can listen to the video better.
Griselda, no se escucha el audio ahora.
Then I don't mute myself, right? And so maybe now you can hear. We'll see. We'll see. Now, yes? Could you hear now? Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. Well, you see, this is the kind of things they can do. I mean, this is not in my hands because I don't know. And it can be very simple. It can be very complex. I accept everything because it's what we can do, right? And so for this, everything is welcome. And we cherish everything. Because otherwise I would be, you know, it would be like saying that because you're creative, I'm going to show your work. So I show everything and I try to ponder every kind of activity they create. I will show you the last, it's a very, very small, tiny teaching sequence of a poem that is great because the poem gives you a kind of structure already. So the children do not need to worry on the sentence structure. The children only worry about what they add, right? So they have already a kind of template with the information. And so it's easy, but what they have to add is personal. That is where the difference is. And I started by, it has to do with, the poem is called I Am. So I wanted them to start developing ideas about themselves by doing some creative arts and crafts before the poem. And this is what I'm going to show you now. Just give me a second. I need to go to the presentation. And I'm going to start here. And so I started showing self-portraits, yes, contemporary, the 20th century self-portraits, Van Gogh, Picasso, Frida Kahlo, and so for them to see which one they liked and why, etc. I don't know, some of them said that they like Picasso because of the eyes. Some of the girls said, no, we love Frida Kahlo because she's powerful, look at the eyebrows, etc. It doesn't matter, it's a prompt, right? And then I showed them Picasso's paintings, portraits. And it was on purpose because I wanted them to create, to intervene their own pictures and create their own Picasso pictures, right? It was for me to focus on themselves. Now I'm doing this on Zoom. And my students are doing amazing work. I haven't a picture. I forgot to add a picture, but I'm sorry for that. But it's working fantastically on Zoom. Now, look at what they did. Well, that's, I always do it with them. So now these are all student teachers. They were so happy doing their own work. I said, do it for you to learn how to feel, to experience it, and so you can do it with your students afterwards. And then we take pictures, no? Because they know I want to show around, so they allow. Now, this was great, right? This is a fantastic picture. Well, and then we take pictures of them all because I want them to feel proud of their work and what they do. And then we have the poem. Yes, and here you see I am, and then you have to put 2 special characteristics you have. I am polite and kind, etc., etc. And then they produce their poem. And it comes something like that. This is Manuela, and this is her picture, and this is how she wrote her poem. Yes, I put it on a yellow background so we could read. I am patient and kind. I wonder about my previous lives. I hear my heart's voice. I see heaven. I want to achieve a yoga headstand. I am patient and kind. I pretend I am a princess. I feel the moon's aura. I touch the wind's hands. I worry about homeless dogs on rainy days. I cry for children who are alone. I am patient and kind. I understand love for nature. I say kindness is the best way. I dream about the beach. I try to put myself on people's shoes. I hope all the children can go to school. I am patient and kind. Every poem is as powerful as this. And to conclude, I would like to say something about the importance of literary competence. Yes? While we are doing these creative writing things with the students, we are doing, as you say, in tandem with visual arts and performative arts. We notice how our linguistic choices grow, especially in terms of vocabulary. We also have more linguistic tools to write different texts. We also have more words to say when we want to express what we want to express. We also develop self-confidence to express ourselves. And we develop our artistic and aesthetic sensitivity and consciousness. Daniela Bertocci affirms that we often consider that literary competence presupposes linguistic competence without acknowledging that through a creative exploration, look at this, a creative exploration of the linguistic code, we become aware of the norm by transcending it. So through this play, through playing with language in the poems, we are learning, we are exploring creatively the linguistic code in the foreign language, also in your own. So I would like to work with you now. You need to write on the chat the words that are your words in English or in Spanish or in any language, because I would like to read a poem by Michael Rosen, which is called Words Are Ours, and I would like to read it and include our own words, right? So what we're going to do is the following. I'm going to stop sharing. Wait a minute. Oh, no. I have this just in case I have more things to do, but normally, oh no. Here. So you need to write there on the chat, and I will read the poem first, and then I will start sharing your poem as a continuation, okay? Our poem together. So when I start reading, just the words that come up to your mind that are your words, put them there. So I'm ready to start. Are you ready? Now, Words Are Ours by Michael Rosen. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word is ours. The names of places, the names of flowers, the names of names. Words are ours. Page turners for early learners. How to boil an egg or mend a leg. Words are ours. Wall charts, love hearts, ports reports, short retorts, jump charts labels, timetables. Words are ours, following the instructions for furniture constructions, ancient mythologies, online anthologies, who she wrote for, who to vote for, jokes collections, results of elections. Words are ours. The tales got you gripped. Have you learned your script? The method of an experiment, ingredients for merriment. Waiting for your text. Reply, what's next? Print media, Wikipedia, words are ours, subtitles on TV, details on your CV, book of great speeches, guide to the best beaches, looking for charters on velociraptors. Words are ours, the mystery of history, the history of mystery, the views of news, the news of views, words to explain for words for pain. Doing geography, autobiography, what to do in pay phones, goodbyes on gravestones. Words are ours. And now, let's see what you have written. And it says, identity, love, nature, create, worlds, norm, genres, no boundaries. Words are ours, awareness, rhyme, give sense of identity and belonging, knowledge, freedom. Words are ours. Words are ours. And so if you continue writing, we, yes, we, words are ours. There is a book here I have. Just give me a second. I don't know if I can find it quickly. Maybe I won't, which is called The Word Collector. Transcend the power and speed of modern communication. Words are ours. And in that book, in The Word Collector, the girl collects words, and one day she knows she needs to throw the words to the world for the people to take it. That's our role as teacher. We give words for the children to express themselves. We are words till we cease to exist. Kindness, words of worship, empowerment, community. Words are words. Just what you say, just what you write is a freedom of oneself. Words are ours. And with this, I think we can say we have finished our presentation, and I am ready to discuss or to dialogue with you. Words everywhere. Let voices be heard, read, and felt. I cannot end with a nicer line than the one Vanessa shares with us. Words everywhere. Let voices be heard, read, and felt. Thank you.
Okay, Gris. I couldn't see you in so many faces here on the screen. I don't know whether there are there any questions to ask Gris first? If not, we finish the talk.
Not so far, no.
Not so far, because we forgot to tell them that they could ask questions. All right, so
congratulations.
yes,
Congrats.
yes. This has been wonderful. Yes, awesome, great. The icing of the cake, because this talk is the last talk this year, right? Organized by the English department. So it's been great that it was you that closes this this moment, right? The icing of the cake. That's the words are mine.
Thank you, Gabby.
Mine.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Griselda, on behalf of the Association of Teachers of Bahía Blanca, we have to thank you. Thank you for this amazing talk. You have not only taught us a little bit, you have also touched our hearts. You have inspired us. And so we feel not only a little bit more prepared to go to our next class, we also feel better as a person, I feel, right? And let me share with the community of teachers of Bahía Blanca that Griselda has decided to join Asociación, so now she is an APIP member. And so we are all very happy and we welcome you, right, to our community. And As Gabriela said, this is a last talk organized in conjunction with or co-organized by the department, but Asociación de Profesores de Inglés has one more invitation, so be ready to have a look on social media, because Mariano Quinterno will be sharing a little bit of his expertise on and his knowledge on October the 31st, and we are all delighted. Yes, we are all very happy to have such great leaders. And well, Griselda, have no words to thank you more, right? So it's been great.
Let me say something to teachers. If you are not a member of an association, please become a member of an association. It's very, I mean, when I say communities of learning, it's also communities of teachers. It is very important that we belong, that we have an institution that we can rely on. And that's for teachers important, especially because we are very much alone sometimes in the classroom as teachers. Associations do a lot for professional development, right? So like these talks and the other ones that they do, plus other things. And it's important that we participate and that we create this community together. Like the words are ours, institutions are ours. So we need to live the institutions as well, right? I see Miriam there, who is a great poet. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, she's a great poet and she publishes her work. Yes, in journals.
Magazine.
Yes, in magazine. Right.
Magazine, but
Great.
So, thank you, Apib. Cannot be happier.
Okay, thank you. And thank you very much for all of you for joining us. Goodbye.